presentation of Fox Sports.
We are La Force. We are LA.
It's time for Dodger Baseball. Live from Dodger Stadium, Prime Ticket presents the Dodgers as they take on the Arizona Diamondbacks. Hi, everybody, and a very pleasant Saturday night to you, wherever you may be. For the Dodgers and the D-backs, it's D-backs all the way. They've beaten the Dodgers 8 straight, 10 out of 12. The D-backs, having lost 6 in a row at home, have now won 6 in a row on the road. The pitching tonight, it'll be the youngest pitcher in the major leagues, left-hander Tyler Skaggs on the mound. He's a local boy from Santa Monica, went to Santa Monica High, was going to go to Cal State Fullerton, but he was signed by the Angels and eventually wound up with Arizona in the Dan Herron deal. On the mound for the Dodgers, the veteran 32-year-old Josh Beckett. He's trying to pick up his first win as a Dodger. He pitched reasonably well in Colorado, went 5 2/3 and gave up 3 runs. For the Dodgers and the D-backs, a lot of work left. The Giants won today. The Dodgers have 6 left with San Francisco. Arizona has 9. And talking about left, the number of games here at home, 14. We'll get to the ball game. We'll have a whole lot more coming up right after this. Dodger Baseball is brought to you by Jack in the Box. Get the All-American Jack Combo for only $4.99 plus tax at participating stores. By San Manuel Indian Bingo and Casino. Play $250,000 Sports Watch football at San Manuel. It's free to play. And by 76 Gas. We're on the driver's side.
Saturday night's all right for fighting. Let's hope so. Let's hope the Dodgers have some fight on them. They've already dropped the first 2 against the Diamondbacks. Here's your National League West standings brought to you by Kia. The Giants have already won today. They beat the Cubs 5-2, so the Dodgers now are 5 games back of San Francisco with 29 games left to play. Jim Watson, Steve Lyons, and Kenny Lofton in center field. Can the Dodgers catch the Giants?
Well, at this point, surprisingly, with Milky being out, the Dodgers, the Giants have some other guys in the lineup that has been picking things up. You have Lincecum starting to do better. Matt Cain has been doing what he's doing, but at this point, the offense is helping the pitchers right there in San Francisco.
Yeah, San Francisco actually playing better ball maybe without Melky Cabrera. But look at the teams the Dodgers have to play. Guess what? We get an extra series with St. Louis this year. That's no fun. They're going to come here. Then the Dodgers are going to hit the road. 4 games left with St. Louis. Then they still have to go to Washington, D.C., the other side of the country, to play 3 games at Washington. Everyone knows that those guys have played a great season this year, leading their division. And then right after that, go to Cincinnati, which may be the best team in the National League right now. They can hit, they pitch, and if you're behind after the 7th inning, you can forget about it. When you see the back half of that bullpen, they shut teams down.
Don Mattingly talked about the Dodgers controlling their own destiny. That means winning at home. The Dodgers have 14 games left at Dodger Stadium, starting tonight. The natural balance, bark in the park. Sometimes the dog days are a good thing.
Summer Drive Sales Event now through September 3rd. By AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T, rethink possible. And by CarMax. Start the search for your next car at CarMax. Hi, everybody, and a very pleasant Saturday night to you, wherever you may be. Another lovely evening here at Dodger Stadium. Game time an hour earlier than normal, and it's Game 3 between the Dodgers and the D-backs. And Kirk Gibson's club, along with Matt Williams and others, have really rolled over the Dodgers. They've beaten them 8 straight and 10 out of 12. They hold the season mark right now, 10 of 14. One thing for the Diamondbacks, they have 9 games left with the San Francisco Giants, so they're 8.5 back, and technically they certainly still have a shot. And if they do, certainly the Dodgers, who are 4.5 games back, but that reminds us to remind you the Giants beat the Cubs today. Here's the Arizona lineup. Gerardo Parra opens up in left field, Aaron Hill at second base, and Justin Upton in right field batting third. Paul Goldschmidt hits cleanup at first base. Miguel Montero, the catcher, left-hand hitter, always seems to give the Dodgers a bad time. He'll be followed by Chris Young in center field. Ryan Wheeler will be playing third base tonight. John McDonald, who did play third, moves over to play short. And on the mound, Tyler Skaggs. On the mound for the Dodgers, Josh Beckett, 6'5", 220-pounder out of Austin, Texas. Makes his home in Spring, Texas. And you have to go back to 1999, where you found he was a first-round pick by the Marlins out of Spring High School. For Beckett, he won 20 games in 2007. He also won 17 3 years ago. And the Dodgers feel he has a lot of baseball left in that 32-year-old right arm. For Josh Beckett, one of the stories about him that certainly is of interest is his uniform number, which is 61. 61, you may remember, was worn quite a while ago by Chan Ho Park. However, when Beckett came here, he had been accustomed to wearing number 19, except when he first broke in with the Marlins. When he broke in with the Marlins, they gave him Levon Hernandez old uniform, number 61. But really, he's always thrived with the number 19. When he comes to Los Angeles, of course, the number 19 is retired. The wonderful baseball player Jim Gilliam's number. He wore it with pride, distinction. He was a wonderful human being as well as a fine player. So Beckett gave it a little thought. Said, okay, why don't we turn it around, and instead of 19, I'll take 61. He is greeted by a line drive off the bat of Parra, who promptly throws him out. And that almost knocked his number off. So one away on a first pitch line drive. And if that's not tough enough, with Parra taking a shot at him, he's now going to face somebody who has given him a very bad time in his career, and that's Aaron Hill. Mr. Beckett, Mr. Hill. Aaron Hill is batting .412 against him with a home run. Aaron, with 20 home runs, red-hot second baseman, hitting just under 300, and Aaron takes a strike, and they count 0-1. Hill hit for the cycle earlier this year against the Mariners. He backs off the pitch low and inside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Hill coming over to Arizona has been a great acquisition. Now the 1-1 pitch on the way to Aaron. Swung on and pulled foul outside of third. 1-2 to count. One other thing about Aaron Hill, he is special. He hit for the cycle in June, but this is what's important. He is only the second player in Major League Baseball history to hit for 2 cycles in a season. Leave it to the Dodgers to be in the record book. Babe Herman of the Brooklyn Dodgers did it. The 1-2 pitch on strike 3 call. Hill just looks at the rookie umpire, Vic Carapazza, and then walks away. Hill right on top of the plate. And, of course, he sees the catcher catching it below his knees, but it's a question of where it passed through the strike zone. So with 2 out, here is Justin Upton. Upton last night hit into 2 double plays. Arizona grounded into 4 double plays last night and still managed to win 4-3. Here comes Beckett. Upton has a look, and that's a strike. And the count 0-1. Justin Upton in game 1 had a double in 4 at-bats. A long 0 for 5 last night. Strike 1 pitch on the way to the right-hand hitter. He has a look and takes a strike. Justin batting .273 with 11 home runs, 53 runs batted in. A long look in by Josh Beckett. Now the right-hander ready and comes back down and dirty. Blocked nicely by A.J. Ellis. 1-2 the count. A.J. figures to have tomorrow off. Matt Trainer will no doubt put on the gear tomorrow. The Dodgers also brought up Tim Fedorovich, so they have a third string or third catcher. So that gives a little bit of maneuverability. And the pitch at the plate in there. Strike 3 call to Upton. and Upton fires his bat and his helmet away. The young umpire, Vic Carapazza, walks away wisely. 2 strikeouts for Beckett, and the D-backs fail to score in the first inning. When Upton struck out, he hurled his bat and fired his helmet. And on his way to right field, he stopped to talk to the veteran umpire, Eric Cooper. Cooper is the crew chief. He's been umpiring for about 14 years. And I'm sure as Upton let off his steam, Cooper is advising the young right fielder, hey, be a pro and discipline yourself. Here come the Dodgers, bottom of the first inning. Mark Ellis at second base, Shane Victorino in center field, Adrian Gonzalez at first. Matt Kemp hits cleanup in center. Hanley Ramirez at short with Andre Ethier, followed by Luis Cruz, A.J. Ellis, and Josh Beckett. How would you like to be 21 years old? How'd you like to come from Santa Monica and walk to the mound at Dodger Stadium ready to make your 3rd major league start? Would you have butterflies? I think you would. I know I would. And I assume Tyler Skaggs will too. He is the youngest pitcher in the major leagues right now, a tender 21. And he'll be working, first of all, on Mark Ellis. Skaggs, the left-hander, both feet in the middle of the rubber. Into the windup, here he comes, and he crowds Ellis inside. Ball 1. 1-0 the count to Mark, who had a big hit with the bases loaded to get the Dodgers back in the game. That was in the 5th inning last night. Now the 1-0 pitch on the way in for a strike, and the count 1-1. Tyler Skaggs. Interesting, his mom is a girls volleyball coach. His aunt, his mom's sister, is also a softball coach at a rival Valencia high school. Ellis swings and misses 1-2. One of the things that Tyler Skaggs talks about, the fact that because of long toss, he has increased his velocity a bit. He used to throw at least 300 feet in warming up. The 1-2 pitch is swung on, hit in the air down the right field line. Upton running through sunlight and shadows, but it's back into the stands, foul, and the count 1-2. Tyler Skaggs said that he used to throw 300 and 310 feet during off-season workouts. He's cut it down to 250, and he figures every year he's picked up miles per hour on his fastball. Tyler looks over the fingertips of the glove, comes back, overhand curveball, and he misses low and inside. 2-2. Tyler committed to go to Cal State Fullerton a couple of years ago, but instead he signed with the Angels, came to the D-backs in the deal that sent Dan Herron to the Angels. 2-2 pitches hammered to left field, right down the line, and foul. So Mark Ellis hits a deep bud foul. In looking at Tyler Skaggs, The very first major league hitter he faced was Gorkas Hernandez of the Marlins, and he struck him out on 3 pitches. But then in the second inning, he allowed 2 home runs. Then in that same game, he struck out 3 in the 5th inning of the game and finished up retiring 13 of the last 16. He went 6 2/3 to pick up the win. 2-2 pitch to Mark Ellis is swung on and popped up back at second base, and it will be the shortstop or the second baseman. Somebody should have taken it, and it was Aaron Hill who made the catch. The veteran John McDonald, who plays a lot of third base, came over, even though Hill was calling all the way, and they bumped gloves, but Hill held on to it. So Mark Ellis, after missing a home run, pops it up, and with 1 away, the batter is Shane Victorino. The old story, if you're a pitcher, you have nothing else to do once you release the ball, and on a pop fly in the infield, all he really had to do is to turn around, go to the back of the mound, and direct a little traffic, but you can understand at 21, not quite sure. Victorino hits a flare into shallow center. Coming up to make the catch is Chris Young. So we have 2 out in the first inning, and the batter will be Adrian Gonzalez.
Number 23, first baseman, Adrian Gonzalez.
With 2 out in the first inning, Skaggs doing it for the moment with a minimum number of pitches. In his second major league start, he made 24 pitches in the first inning. Well, he's made 8 pitches for 2 outs, and here is Adrian. So Gonzalez checking in big numbers in his career, numbers so far this year, hitting only .207 as a Dodger. Backs off, takes a breaking ball strike, 0-1. Gonzalez with a half a dozen runs batted in, and remember, he got 3 in a hurry in his first major league at bat as a Dodger. Here, Skaggs into the windup. Strike 1 pitch on the way, breaking ball in the dirt. 1 ball and 1 strike. So Gonzalez trying to get a move on with the bat on a beautiful evening. The temperature 81 degrees. Hardly humidity to speak of. Flags hang limply in center. And the 1-1 pitch to Gonzalez, breaking ball on the outside corner. 1-2. Gonzalez, who rarely argues, but his body language tells you that he didn't agree, so he just backs out. Now gets back in. No score, first inning, bottom of the first with 2 out. Skaggs ready, and the 1-2 pitch, fastball high, and the count 2 balls and 2 strikes. Skaggs, among other things, can really bear down in tough spots. In his second start, at one point, he retired 8 hitters with men in scoring position. Here's the 2-2 pitch to Gonzalez, high and inside, ball 3, 3-2. Interesting, too, about Skaggs, he was locked up in a tied-up game, and he gave up a home run to the Reds pitcher, who's a good hitter, Bronson Arroyo. Skaggs into the windup. 3-2 pitch on the way. Fastball fouled off. Skaggs comes in with a 4-seam fastball, basically. Then he has a big rainbow curveball, followed by a slider and a changeup. Tyler, both feet on the rubber. 6'4", about 190. Into his windup, and the 3-2 pitch. Fastball foul back. His fastball has been clocked up around 93. That one was 92. So Adrian Gonzalez trying to get something started here. 3-2 the count. Matt Kemp waiting on deck. Skaggs ready, reading Montero. Now the young left-hander comes back. 3-2. Fastball fouled away yet again. So Adrian Gonzalez making the young left-hander work. Gonzalez against left-handers hitting .304, and against right-handers hitting .289. Skaggs ready again into the windup. Left-handed delivers, swung on, and that's going to be hit to dead center. And here comes Young to make the running catch, and that's the inning. So the Dodgers go 1-2-3, and at the end of an inning, D-backs nothing, Dodgers nothing. No score as we go to the second inning. Beckett struck out 2 in the first inning. Now he'll be facing Paul Goldschmidt, Miguel Montero, and Chris Young. Goldschmidt hitting .282, 18 home runs, 66 runs batted in. Big first baseman, but he gets smaller at the plate, swings and misses. In the sense that Goldschmidt was around 6'4" to 6'5", but he bends at the knees and the waist. The next pitch of the right-hand batter is taken low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike. For Goldschmidt, he is tied for third in the league with 36 doubles, but he's been slugging and struggling of late. 1 ball, 1 strike. Too much time. Goldschmidt backs out. Last night, Goldschmidt walked twice and struck out 3 times. Takes a look at the strike and a 1 ball, 2 strike count. Arizona has a lot of aggressive hitters who also pay the bill. Goldschmidt has struck out 112 times. They now have 6 men who have struck out at least 100. The pitch in the dirt. The 6th man just joined them, Cody Ransom. So they have Goldschmidt with 112, Chris Robinson 113, Jason Kubel 128, Miguel Montero 103, and now Ransom and Upton with 105. So Don Baylor, the hitting coach, has to be growling a little bit as Goldschmidt swings and strikes out again. For Beckett, by the way, that would be his 3rd consecutive strikeout. And the batter will be Miguel Montero.
Batting 5th.
In looking at Beckett's career month by month, he's been a very successful pitcher, as you can well imagine. He only has had 1 bad year, and he just passed through that. In his career, it's only the month of August, his only losing month. His career in September, 23-13. So now here's Montero. Left-hand hitting catcher and a good one, and looks at ball 1. Montero last night, as he usually does, gives the Dodgers a bad time. 1 ball and no strikes. Montero had 3 hits last night, and he promptly bangs another one into right field. However they are pitching Miguel Montero, you get the idea they're not pitching him exactly right. So whoever it is, Montero is there to rope one, and he comes up with another base hit. And that'll bring up Chris Young. Aaron Harang last night tried to hold him down and gave up a couple of hits. And then Montero also in the 9th inning had a base hit against Belisario. So here's Young hitting .223, 14 home runs, 38 runs batted in. Beckett set at the belt. Josh very deliberate, and the big rancher delivers and gets a strike, and the count 0-1. Chris with a line drive home run that beat the Dodgers in the first game 2-0. Taking a long look at Matt Williams. Chris, as we mentioned, was off to a great start this year, then was injured, hurt his shoulder, and has never really regained that early season form. He swings and hits a shot just inside third down the line. Having to come up to get the ball is Victorino, so it's a double and runners at second and third. The ball hit the edge of the tarp roller, and Victorino had to come and get it as opposed to the ball coming to him. So Young hooks it just over the bag, and Victorino comes racing in.
Number 21,
and there are runners at second and third.
Wheeler.
One out, and the batter will be Ryan Wheeler. Ryan Wheeler in his last 6 games just 2 for 15. He hit his first major league home run against the Astros. Made his debut about the 20th of July against the Astros. Had a big year at Reno. Left-hand hitter. Second and third, one out. Beckett ready and delivers, and Wheeler takes low. Ball 1. 1-0 to Ryan Wheeler. So the D-backs trying to continue to give the Dodgers a bad time and trying to get the drop on them. So for Kirk Gibson, as you can bet, the D-backs are really bearing down. 1 ball and no strikes. Here comes Beckett. Wheeler hits a line drive backhanded by Hanley Ramirez, and the runners have to hold. So Ryan Wheeler losing a base hit. Would have scored 1, maybe even 2. Instead, Ramirez makes a good play, and Montero and Young have to hold on.
Shortstop John McDonald.
So that'll bring up John McDonald. Frustrated Ryan Wheeler going back into the dugout. Ryan Wheeler, by the way, is a local boy from Torrance. Went to school at Loyola Marymount. So he had a shot at driving in some runs in front of the family and friends, I'm sure. Meanwhile, Beckett wants to find out about some of these players. A little meeting now about what to do with McDonald. McDonald has certainly been around a while. We'll check and see if Beckett has faced him somewhere along the way. And the answer is yes. And McDonald has worn him out. McDonald is 4 for 9 against him, hitting .232. Right-hand batter and the shortstop tonight. Beckett delivers, and he's down and away with a slider. On deck is Tyler Skaggs. So you wonder just how much they will try to get McDonald. See if he will chase a bad ball or not. Again, Beckett at the belt. No windup with runners at second and third. Back with a pitch high. 2-0 the count. You get the idea, since McDonald has some hits against him, Beckett really doesn't want to challenge him. He's hoping that somehow he'll go fishing, as we used to say. But McDonald has laid off a couple. 2 balls and no strikes the count. Beckett with runners at second and third and 2 out, facing the 8th place hitter in the lineup, and he's off the plate. Ball 3. So you wonder, okay, we might as well put him on. And A.J. Ellis still erect behind the plate. Let's see if he settles into a crouch. Yep. So they're going to still test McDonald to see if he might swing 3-0. Don't see 8th place hitters swinging 3-0 too often, but with a weak hitter behind him, let's see. Here's the 3-0 pitch on the way, and it is just off the plate. Ball 4. Crowd kind of groans a little bit, but it's actually a bit of a surprise that they even bothered to get him. And McDonald, the veteran hitter, refused to chase a pitch out of the zone.
Tyler Skaggs.
So the bases are loaded for young Tyler Skaggs. With the bat, Skaggs 0 for 3. And comes up trying to help his own cause with Montero and Young and McDonald all out on the lines. Skaggs bats as he pitches, left-handed, hits a ground ball to Ramirez, shovels quickly, just in time. Boy, I tell you, McDonald was flying down the line. So Ellis at the other end of the toss, and the Dodgers are off the hook. No runs, 2 hits, 3 left at the end of an inning and a half, no score.
A cold one to look forward to Miller time later in tonight's game. Brought to you by Miller Lite.
No score in the ball game, bottom of the second inning. While we have a chance, we want to remind you Tuesday at 7:10, fans with the first 30,000 tickets receive an adult Matt Kemp replica jersey, compliments of State Farm. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/promotions. Matt Kemp did something. Occasionally you'll see an individual do it, and he did something last night that seemed to lift the spirits of the entire ball club. It didn't stay that way, but it happened in the 6th inning. Everybody in the park, including the Diamondbacks, know that Matt was coming back from crashing into the wall and had a bad knee, and yet he stole second base. And then Ramirez hit a fly ball to right field. Matt walked back to second as if saying, well, I got the bad knee, I'm not going to run. And Upton went for it and threw into second. And Matt tagged up, and he was at third base. And at the time, it was a huge play because Ethier then singled, little blooper to left field, and Kemp scored from third to tie up the game. But that one play, fooling Upton, shows you the ways that Matt Kemp can beat you. He has a look at the first pitch low, 1 ball and no strikes. Matt hitting .332, 17 home runs, 54 runs batted in. No score, second inning. Tyler Skaggs into the windup, left-handed back with a big rainbow curveball, and he misses. 2 balls and no strikes. Skaggs had a pretty serious ankle injury in his senior year of high school. So that dropped him out of the first round of the draft. Now the 2-0 pitch on the way, swung on and fouled away, and the count 2-1. So the Dodgers have Kemp, Ramirez, and Ethier. We were commenting last night about the drought, and it was a serious drought amongst Victorino, Gonzalez, Kemp, and Ramirez, along with Ethier. I mean, they were starving to death looking for base hits. And there's a drive into the gap. Racing over to make the catch is Gerardo Parra. He's a Gold Glover out there and a solid all-around player. So Kemp hits it hard. Parra runs it down. And we have one out in the second inning.
Hanley Ramirez.
Hanley Ramirez coming up. One away, bases empty. Hanley, right-hand batter, hitting .254. 22 home runs, 82 runs batted in. He hit .290 in the month of August, and he's had 7 home runs in his last 15 games. Skaggs into the windup, delivers, and the first pitch fouled right into Montero's mask. 0-1 the count to Hanley Ramirez. For Skaggs, he has been burned twice by the home run ball, especially the home run by Bronson Arroyo. Tyler looks down the barrel to get a sign. Strike one pitch on the way, high and tight, and a 1-ball, 1-strike count. So the boy from Santa Monica, Tyler Skaggs, trying to nail the Dodgers. He has kind of an old-fashioned delivery in the sense he winds up, not a huge wind-up, but he doesn't just turn and deliver. This time the fastball is high. 2-1 the count. So many pitchers in this day and age hold the ball and just turn the body and then deliver. Of course, in the old days, you really saw pitchers wind up. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Skaggs into that windup. Back he comes with a high strike. And the count 2-2, and Ramirez takes a little walk away from the plate. I think he's a little annoyed. One out, bottom of the second, no score. Now Hanley very slowly, deliberately gets back into the box. Skaggs looks down the barrel to Montero, and the young left-hander delivers. Fastball fouled away off to the right. He hits 92 on the gun. And I would think this time of night, 6:42, big bright canopy of blue overhead, sun-splashed hills from left all the way to right. Might be a little tough to pick up the flight of the ball coming in at 92. Lights really not able to make great effect. Here's a 2-2 pitch, and it's fouled off. So that looked like a change on the heels of the good fastball. He came back from 92 to 75. 2-2 to Hanley Ramirez. Skaggs again studying the veteran catcher. Montero hasn't flashed any signs to him yet. Might even have told him to slow down. Again, Montero gesturing, take your time. 2-2 pitch on the way is fouled away. Once in a while, you watch Montero, and he will not use his fingers. Once in a while, he'll call a pitch going to various parts of the body. The knee, the chest protector, the mask. So we're just seeing what he does right now, trying to bring along a 21-year-old. And the 2-2 pitch is swung on, and a long drive to center. Back goes Young, and this one is gone. Hanley Ramirez hits his 23rd home run of the year, and the Dodgers take a 1-0 lead here in the second inning. So Hanley comes in holding up 4 fingers. He got a pitch right out over the plate at the knees, and he is so strong. He drove it into the center field pavilion, and it wound up in the hands of a little boy. So there was happiness at both ends of it, with a little heartache in between. Cheerleading from Mickey Hatcher, Mickey the Hatch. Now the pitch to Andre Ethier, in for a strike, and the count 0-1. For Hanley Ramirez, that was a tough at-bat, an 8-pitch at-bat, and he fouled off 3 with 2 strikes on him. Strike 1 pitch, Ethier, a ground ball to the hole, base hit into right field. So in the inning, Matt Kemp lined out to Parra, Ramirez homers, Ethier singles, and here comes Luis Cruz.
Third baseman, Luis
The Hanley
Cruz.
shakes him up a little bit as Mickey Hatcher gives him a little cheerleading. Luis Cruz hitting .295, 4 home runs, 29 runs batted in. Cruz not only hitting well, but also playing very well defensively. Last night, he had 2 big hits, scored a run, and took a base hit away from Chris Johnson and turned it into a double play with a dazzling diving stop and throw. So Cruz waiting. Skaggs set, down 1-0, and works it inside. Ball 1. 1-0 the count. Cruz studying Wallach, asking the plate umpire Carapazza to wait. Now Luis back up. Ethier at first, held on by Goldschmidt. 1-0 Dodgers, second inning. Skaggs trying to hide the ball back at his left hip, making Cruz wait. Now he's ready, and the 1-0 pitch on the way, a little breaking ball that's fouled away. Cruz went down to get a little bit of it and fouled it behind the visiting dugout. 1 ball and 1 strike. Been a 16-pitch inning thus far, and of course Hanley burned him with the home run into the center field part of the pavilion. Tonight, the bark of the dark, and bark in the dark, that ball had to stir up some animals in center field for sure. 1 ball and 1 strike, the count to Luis Cruz. And the left-hander's pitch low and inside. 2-1 the count. They call him the baby backs, the youngest pitching staff in the league, and they're all highly talented young players, figure to be around a while. Here's the 2-1 pitch coming up. That's foul back. You look at the Diamondbacks pitching staff. Ian Kennedy is 27, Wade Miley 25, Trevor Cahill 24, Patrick Corbin 23, and then Tyler Skaggs at 21. 2-2 the count. Cruz with 1 out, a runner at first. 2-2 pitch is instead a throw to first. Ethier back on the bag. Andre doesn't do any stealing, but he could certainly be involved, hit and run. 2-2, A.J. Ellis on deck. 1-0 Dodgers, second inning. Ramirez home run. Now the 2-2 pitch, that swung on and fouled away down the right field line. Concluding game of the 4-game series. That'll be tomorrow, and it'll be a battle of left-handers. Chris Capuano will be on the mound for the Dodgers, and Wade Miley for the D-backs. And then the Padres come in. Meanwhile, Cruz waiting. 2-2 the count. Out of a stretch goes Skaggs. Delivers slow curveball, hit even slower outside a third, foul. And the count remains 2-2, and Ethier has to go back to first. Dodgers with 14 home games left after tonight. Tomorrow, followed by the 3 with San Diego. That's 4. Then they have 4 with the Cardinals. That's 8. 3 with Colorado, and then the last 3 with the Giants. 2-2 pitch on the way is swung on, popped in the air, foul off first. Goldschmidt comes over, can only watch as it goes well back into the crowd, and then kangaroos back up about 15 rows. 2-2 to Luis Cruz. Dodgers trying to do something about the numbers. The D-backs have just kicked them around. They've beaten them 8 straight, 10 out of 12. They've won 2 in a row in this series, and for that matter, D-backs have won 6 straight on the road. 2-2 the count to Luis Cruz. Skaggs delivers, and that's fouled away up along first base. 8 pitches so far. Remember, Ramirez had an 8-pitch at bat, fouled off 3 with 2 strikes on him, and then hit the home run. So he comes right back with an 8-pitch at bat for young Cruz. Skaggs looks down, getting the sign, making Cruz wait. Now Tyler to a stretch. 2-2 pitch on the way. Breaking ball whacked into left field, base hit. Parra has to go way over to his right, but he comes up with it and left hands it back into the infield. So Cruz, a base hit as he gets closer to hitting 300. And with 2 on and 1 out, A.J. Ellis will be coming up. Got a breaking ball, waited on it, as the players say, and then drilled it into left, and Parra quickly got it back in. One thing for Skaggs, he is not getting the ball by the Dodger hitters, and Charles Nagy out to talk to him. By that's a little area we've really come to respect and watch carefully. The idea of hitters swinging and fouling off the pitch as opposed to swinging and missing. So far, Dodger hitters have fouled off 12 2-strike pitches. He's also made 40 pitches, and the Dodgers with 2 on and A.J. Ellis coming up. Hanley Ramirez had an 8-pitch at bat, fouled off 3 2-strike pitches, hit a home run. Ethier and Cruz made him work, and there's A.J. Ellis last night had 1 hit. He was also hit by a pitch, scored a run. Hitting .281 with 11 home runs, 41 runs batted in. 2 on, 1 out, 1-0 Dodgers in the second. Skaggs set about at the nose, and the first pitch is low, ball 1. So the young 21-year-old struggling a little here after retiring the side in order in the first inning. This has been a 24-pitch inning so far. And the 1-0 pitch on the way. That's in for a strike. Fastball up at the letters. 1-1 the count to A.J. Ellis. 1 run, 3 hits for the Dodgers. No runs, 2 hits for the D-backs. They had second and third with 1 out in the second inning. Brian Wheeler hit a bullet, and it was backhanded by Hanley Ramirez. Otherwise, the D-backs are on the board first. Tyler out of a stretch, looks at the runners. The pitch to A.J. is swung on, hit in the air into right center field. It's playable. Upton on the track makes the catch, and the runners hold. So A.J. Ellis, a long fly ball to right field. 2 down, and Josh Beckett coming up.
Batting 9, number 61. Pitcher Josh.
The only thing we know about Josh Beckett, he's had 2 at-bats for the Dodgers, and he has struck out twice. So 2 on and 2 out. Ellis hits it hard, but an out. And now Beckett. Ethier and Cruz taking their leads. Skaggs trying to do what the Dodgers did with him, and his first pitch in for a strike. Dodgers use Skaggs as the safety valve and get out of the second inning, and now the D-backs are trying to use Beckett the same way. 0-1 the count. Skaggs out of his stretch, left-handed back high with a fastball. 1-1 the count. Hanley Ramirez, a 1-out home run, giving the Dodgers a 1-0 lead. Beckett trying to add to it. 21-year-old Tyler Skaggs, the youngest pitcher in the big leagues, delivers a fastball swung on and missed, and the count 1-2. So the pride of Santa Monica High School trying to get out of the jam here. Tyler from a stretch. Another look at the runners. The pitch to Beckett is swung on and missed. So 1 run, the home run by Hanley Ramirez. There's also 2 singles, 2 left. Hanley unloading with a drive into the center field section of the pavilion, and the end of 2. Dodgers lead 1-0. Third home run of the year to give the Dodgers a 1-0 lead. No surprise there. Hanley has hit as many as 33 home runs in 1 year for the Marlins. Meanwhile, 3rd inning, and it'll be the top of the order. Gerardo Parra, Aaron Hill, and Justin Upton. Josh Beckett ready to go to work. One of the problems for Beckett, and it's just one of those things, but it holds up upon inspection, he has trouble on a 1-ball, no-strike count. I mean, a world of trouble when he falls behind with the first pitch. So let's see what happens with Gerardo Parra, who hit back to the box in the 1st inning. And the first pitch, he shows bunt, but he takes a strike, 0-1. Just to finish the thought, the batters on a 1-ball, no-strike count are hitting .500 against Josh Beckett. Josh leading 1-0 in the 3rd. Veteran right-hander, both feet on the rubber, just turns and comes back to the plate high. 1-1. So a difference in delivery. That's why we talked about Skaggs, the old-fashioned delivery, where he actually goes to a windup, bringing his hands above his head. And Beckett, the modern-day pitcher, just holds the ball at the belt and then just turns on the rubber. Totally different. 1-1 pitch on the way, swung on, fouled off, 1-2. I can remember for years, you always saw the pitchers wind up. And one of the most, what would you say, terrifying wind-ups was that of Don Newcomb. 1-2 the count to Gerardo Parra. Here comes Beckett, and the fastball is inside, 2-2. Big Nuke, and he was big and powerful, would look in, get the sign, and then both arms at his side. It looked like he was pumping to take off. It was quite a sight. 2-2 the count to Gerardo Parra. Change up, and that's hit down the left field line, foul, out of play. Came up there at 78. We mentioned about Josh Beckett. We called him a rancher. And boy, he is that, and then some. 2-2 to Gerardo Parra. Another thing about Josh Beckett, he saves baseball cards. He says his collection is over 10,000. Parra in and out of the box. Beckett a long look in. Now he's ready. And the 2-2 pitch on the way. Swung on, pulled wide of first to Gonzalez. He'll feed Beckett coming over. And just like that, one away. The batter will be Aaron Hill. Just to complete the idea about Josh Beckett. Josh Beckett is a Texan, so you can understand. He started out with a big house on 8 acres. Then he bought about a 2,000-acre ranch, 20 horses, 50 head of cattle. Then he sold that. He now has 7,000 acres in South Texas, about maybe 40 miles from the Mexican border. And the first pitch is hit to left center, shallow, moving in and over to watch it bounces count. So it is a fly ball single for Aaron Hill. So Hill, who has had a great deal of success against Josh Beckett, continues with the fly ball single. Hill was hitting .412, and the little fly ball drops in. This is another problem with an early game. Victorino didn't know where the ball was, and then it was up in the lights, and Kemp couldn't catch it. You can see Shane holding up his right hand. So you have the combination of the lights and a very light sky. Last night, remember, Ethier lost a fly ball and went for a triple. This time up in the lights that blinded Victorino. Long fly ball, slicing fouls down the right field line, back into the stands. So Upton up there 0-1. Yeah, there are a lot of problems playing in the big leagues, despite the fact everything is big league. They are sorely tested every day they take the field, no matter all the experience. So Aaron Hill with a fly ball single. It's 1-0 Dodgers, top of the third. Beckett, right foot on the rubber, looks in to get a sign. Upton with 11 home runs, 53 runs batted in. Strike one pitch is instead another throw to first. Aaron Hill diving back to the bag. Hill has stolen 11 out of 15. Upton, who has struck out 105 times, takes a pitch low. What happens is sometimes you have a bad combination. You have a good base stealer, but you have a hitter who struggles making contact. So Upton back up. Hill standing on the bag, now takes a very conservative lead. Beckett ready. The 1-1 pitch on the way to Justin Upton. Beckett holding, and turns, throws to first, and Hill back on the bag. Wade Miley and Chris Capuano tomorrow. Final game, but not the last. The Dodgers go to Arizona on the 11th and 12th of September. Beckett ready in the 1-1 pitch. Fastball swung on and missed. And the count 1-2. Beckett hits 91 on the gun. We were talking about Josh Beckett having a big ranch. Another famous National League player who has a ranch very close to Beckett's. They didn't know it until they once met one day. Chipper Jones. Here's the 1-2 pitch coming up to Justin Upton. Beckett delivers way off the plate outside, and the count 2-2. We mentioned earlier about Beckett wearing number 61 and why. There was a time in his career he wore 21 in honor of Roger Clemens, another Texan. Here's the 2-2 pitch to Justin Upton. Beckett set, throws to first. For Josh Beckett, as a Dodger, he had walked 3 and struck out 6. For the Red Sox, he had walked 38 and struck out 94. So a good ratio. We'll see what that means. 2-2 to Justin Upton. Hill takes his lead. Beckett watching him. He's going to go. The pitch is low. The throw is down there waiting for him. Another wonderful throw by A.J. Ellis to hang out Aaron Hill. Pitch was low and inside, but it still got there in plenty of time for the tag by Mark Ellis. Kind of a dangerous slide. He went in and then came up. And luckily his spikes did not catch. Ellis, a great throw to get him. And the pitch to Upton is swung on and fouled away. And then almost hit the on-deck hitter, Paul Goldschmidt. So as we mentioned, it is so tough to put a play on when you have a hitter who doesn't make contact. So as good a base runner as Hill is, he takes off, and he is naked unto the world when Upton can't make the contact that they needed with 1 out. So 3-2 the count to Justin. Beckett ready and comes back 3-2, and the fastball is a long drive to deep left field. That's got a lot behind it. It is gone. So the out at second base keeps the ball game tied, and boy, did Justin Upton unload. For Upton, his 12th home run. He has 54 runs batted in, and we have ourselves a 1-1 tie. Fastball at the knees, and Justin knew as soon as he hit it, that thing was going to be out and gone. It was heading towards the Three Sisters and went out. So a big booming home run by Justin Upton, and we have a 1-1 tie in the 3rd inning. So Beckett now gets back up on the rubber after being shocked, and Goldschmidt checks in. Give you an idea of what kind of a home run that was. Do you remember Matt Holliday's home run here, where he hit it right amongst the Three Sisters, those palm trees, directly back of the Dodger bullpen? That's where Upton hit it. Uptown Upton. And it's a 1-1 tie. Off speed, a 73-mile-an-hour change for a strike. 1-1 the count. So Upton, who can do it all, ties it up 1-1. Now the 1-1 pitch on the way. Breaking ball hit down the right field line. Slicing foul back into the stands. 1-2 the count. Of course, in looking at long home runs, and that one was longer, but you immediately start to think about Giancarlo Stanton. Remember, homered in 3 straight games here. Hit one .494 in Colorado. The 1-2 pitch on the way. Goldschmidt swings, ground ball to third. Cruz waits for the hop, fires across. Good stretch by Gonzalez, and that's the inning. The key to the inning, the fact that Aaron Hill was caught stealing, and then Upton hits a home run. And at the end of 2.5 innings, a 1-1 tie. Ramirez hits one in the second inning into the center field bleachers. Upton clears the back wall of the Dodger bullpen, and we have ourselves a 1-1 tie. Applause in the background for two of our distinguished servicemen who honor us by their presence here. They have been over in Kosovo and in Iraq, and we are indeed honored to have them here. Real heroes.
For Dodgers number 14, second baseman Mark
Bottom of the
Ellis.
third inning, it'll be Mark Ellis, followed by Shane Victorino, and then Adrian Gonzalez. Ellis popped up in the first inning. He just missed a home run. So the 21-year-old Tyler Skaggs tied up 1-1 in the third inning. Beckett, by the way, made 18 pitches in that third inning, so his pitch count is now up to 43. Ellis with 5 home runs, 27 runs batted in, and takes low, ball 1. Ryan Wheeler playing up inside the bag at third, now backs to just the edge of the grass. The next one to Mark Ellis, taken inside under the hands. 2 balls and no strikes. 21 years old, pitching in the big leagues at Dodger Stadium. Boyish looking Tyler Skaggs. 2-0 pitch, and that's in at the knees for a strike, and the count 2-1. As we mentioned at the start, his mom Debbie is a girls volleyball coach at the high school where Tyler was the star pitcher. That would be Santa Monica High School. Ellis, meanwhile, raising a pop fly, shallow left, going out McDonald, and he's going to make the catch for the out. So Ellis pops it up, 1 away. You know, a reminder, Labor Day on Monday, Dodgers and Padres at 5:10. You can spend time with family and friends and enjoy $1 Dodger Dog, compliments of our friends at Farmer John. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/promotions and leave the grilling to us. Dodger Stadium goes to the Dogs tonight in a 1-1 tie. Pitch in for a strike to Victorino. Bark at the park, and would appear to see at least 1,000 dog handlers coming in, maybe more. Strike 1, pitch on the way inside, 1-1. Did you ever have a dog? I had the best dog in the whole world. A female Akita from Japan. I really think the best. 1-1 pitch on the way, in there for a strike. 1-2 the count. Yeah, they are here, all sizes, all shapes, all breeds. The 1-2 pitch, ground ball to shortstop. McDonald up with it. John makes the play. So 2 out in the third. Adrian Gonzalez coming up.
Number 23, first baseman Adrian Gonzalez.
Way back when I was living home in New Jersey, we had a mutt. The dog was Blackie. And in the 1955 World Series, every inning got so exciting in the final game, and my mother, bless her heart, would get so excited, she'd get a leash, she'd put it on the dog, drag him out of the house, and walk him around the block until the exciting moment passed. And she did this all through the game. This was the one where the Dodgers were going to win their only championship. In the 8th inning, it became excruciating. She couldn't find the dog. He was hiding. He was fed up having been walked around the block. 1-1 the count to Adrian Gonzalez. Well, these dogs are well fed and obviously very happy sitting in the owner's lap. Next pitch is a ground ball to the right side. Aaron Hill is there. So down go the Dodgers very quickly in the third inning. And at the end of 3 in a battle of home runs, we have a 1-1 tie. fourth inning, Josh Beckett struck out Aaron Hill in the first inning, came right back with a breaking ball to get Upton, and then Goldschmidt to give him 3 strikeouts in a row. Meanwhile, Tyler Skaggs has struck out 1, not walked anybody. Each has surrendered a home run, and we take a 1-1 tie into the fourth inning. So Upton gets them even after Ramirez had put the Dodgers ahead. Montero continues his hot hitting, especially against the Dodgers. Single to right, 1 for 1. Hitting .281, 14 home runs, 74 runs batted in. Montero is from Caracas in Venezuela. Tried to hold up, couldn't do it. 1 run, 4 hits for the D-backs. 1 run, 3 hits for the Dodgers. High strike. 1-2. Montero is about 5'11" and a stocky 195. 29 years old. Been with the D-backs since '06. 2009, he received the Good Guy Award, given to the player who most fosters a positive relationship with the media who cover the D-backs. Poke down the left field line, foul. 1-2 the count to Miggy, as they call him. Montero's development down in the minor leagues, he gives full credit to a little-known catcher named Bill Plummer. He was little known because he was a backup catcher for Hall of Famer Johnny Bench. 2-2. Last year, Montero, the all-star catcher, he had a big year. You think of catchers as guys who lumber when they run. Last year, Montero had 36 doubles. He had 56 extra base hits. Way out in front of the off-speed pitch. That would be strikeout number 4 for Josh Beckett.
Center fielder Chris Young.
Chris Young coming up. Young doubled inside third down the line. Instead of it going all the way down the line where Victorino might have held him to a single, the ball hit the front part of the tarp roller, so Victorino had to come and get it, and that gave Young the extra base easily. Right. 0-1. In at the knuckles. Chris Young has power. He's hit as many as 32. 27 2 years ago, 20 last year, and 14 right now. Two and 1 to Chris Young. We have 1 out, 4th inning, 1-1 tie. Pressure on both teams again. Giants won their ball game. They beat the Cubs. 2-2. In that Giant game, you know, the veteran outfielder Xavier Nady, and they had just called him up. And Nady's first at bat in the first inning in Wrigley Field with the bases loaded, and he hit a shot over third base for a double to drive in all 3, and the Giants were off to the races. 2-2. Foul back. That fastball by Beckett, 89 miles an hour. Two and 2. Fastball got him looking. So Beckett strikes out Montero with the breaking ball, strikes out Young with the fastball. 5 strikeouts. He just let that thing fly, and it caught a good part of the plate. So now Ryan Wheeler, the local boy from Torrance. Ryan was unlucky. He came up in the second inning with runners at second and third and hit a line drive that was backhanded by Hanley Ramirez. Otherwise, he picks up 1 or even 2 RBIs. And he hits a line foul down the line. 0-1. Ryan hitting .203, having been just called up. One ball and 1 strike. Ryan Wheeler went to Loyola Marymount, still lives in Torrance, well put together, 6'4", 220. And he was selected only 3 years ago, so he's a young man in a hurry. 1-2 the count. Just turned 24. After going to Torrance High School, he chose a baseball scholarship to Loyola Marymount. Fastball missing. 2-2 the count. For Ryan Wheeler, his last year and a half, 31 home runs in that stretch. Foul back. Wheeler could play a lot of places. He's basically a first baseman. He saw a little bit of action at third base when he was in college. 2-2. All 3. So they're talking about a first baseman, and of course they have a good one right now. Another young one, Paul Goldschmidt. So it'll be a battle between 2 young fellas well put together. 3-2 as Goldschmidt watches. Foul back. So you have Wheeler at Loyola Marymount. You have Tyler Skaggs, Santa Monica High School. So a lot of young men coming home to roost here against the Dodgers. 1-1, top of the 4th. Home runs by Upton and Ramirez. 3-2. So now Beckett is falling into that pattern where the hitters are swinging and not missing, fouling them off. His pitch count now is up to 63. It's a 20 pitch inning. 3-2. Nine pitch at bat here for Ryan Wheeler. That was a 92-mile-an-hour fastball. That's about as hard as Beckett throws. Couple of no's and a yes. Fastball got him on the inside corner. A thoroughly professional major league pitch. Wheeler goes away talking to himself. Beckett strikes out the side as he got it right where the doctor ordered. He has a half a dozen strikeouts, and we have a 1-1 tie. Dodger Baseball is brought to you by the new wireless receiver from AT&T Uverse. Visit AT&T.com/free your TV. Rethink possible. By El Pollo Loco, crazy you can taste. By the full line of fuel-efficient vehicles at your Southern California Toyota dealer. And by Time Warner Cable. It's the veteran and the kid. I guess you could build it up that way. 1-1 tie in the fourth. The 21-year-old, the youngest pitcher in the major leagues, Tyler Skaggs, going up against the veteran, Josh Beckett. And in the 1-1 tie in the fourth, Matt Kemp, Hanley Ramirez, and Andre Ethier. Matt Kemp hit the ball hard in the second inning. Line drive towards left center. They played that way, and Parra on the dead run backhanded it for the out. Ball one. You look at the outfield. They are all deep, of course, but Young shading a little to right center, and Parra is way over. They give Matt Kemp almost all of straightaway left field. 2-0. Skaggs has not walked anybody yet. And going foul, 2-1. Always interesting. They have the outfield shading to right, yet the first two pitches were breaking balls down and in. And then on the 2-0 pitch, he came with a fastball away, and Kemp fouled it off to the right. 2-2. That was an 89-mile-an-hour fastball. And whacked into left field. So it's another fastball down a little bit, and Matt lines it into left for the single, and that'll bring up Hanley Ramirez. Ramirez had an 8-pitch at-bat back in the second inning, fouled off 3 two-strike pitches, and then unloaded. It carries into the center field pavilion, bouncing around for his 23rd home run. So Hanley, who has hit as many as 33 in a year, gave the Dodgers a very brief 1-0 lead, and then Upton came up and hit one out of sight to tie it up. Matt Kemp at first, nobody out, fourth inning, 1-1. Ball one. You have no idea whether young Skaggs has a good move to first base or not. Neither does Kemp. But Skaggs has been scouted. Matt had that emotional stolen base last night when everybody knows he has that bruised knee. That's in the dirt. Nice save by Montero. Tough play, and he short hopped it just by his left hip. Matt held on by Paul Goldschmidt. 2-0 count. Fastball missed, ball 3. I'm sure you've heard of Robin Roberts. He was a great right-hand pitcher for the Philadelphia Phillies in the 50s, and he is deservedly so in the Hall of Fame. He was the right-handed ace of the Phillies. The left-hander was named Curt Simmons. Here's the 3-0 pitch and a throw to first. And those who played with Curt Simmons, you talk about a left-hander having a good move to first or not such a good move. Curt Simmons, from what I heard, was a left-hander who hated to throw to first base. Just hated it. And there's ball 4. So Skaggs now in some trouble. Kemp singles, Ramirez walks, and Andre Ethier coming up. So Charles Nagy makes some notes as the pitching coach. And Ethier will check in. Andre single to right field in the second inning, 1 for 1. Ethier came into the game hitting .220 against left-handers and .335 against right-handers. So Kemp is at second, Ramirez at first, nobody out, and Luis Cruz on deck. And a high fly ball, but coming over to get it is Parr, and holding on, Matt Kemp. So Ethier a fly ball, 1 away, and Luis Cruz coming up.
Number 47, third baseman, Luis Cruz.
Cruz single to left field in the second inning. So the young third baseman so close to hitting 300, actually 299 with 4 home runs, 29 runs batted in. So Matt Kemp at second, Hanley Ramirez at first, 1 out. And ball 1. Remember that note we gave you about Skaggs at the start of the game, that at one point in his second major league start, he retired 8 hitters with men in scoring position. One and 0. In the second inning, Dodgers had Ethier in scoring position, and Skaggs got Ellis and Beckett. Now he has Kemp in scoring position, and he got Ethier, now trying to get Cruz. 1 ball and no strikes. And that's line to center, but coming over to steer it is Young, and the runners have to hustle back. So Luis Cruz hits it hard, but right at Chris Young.
Number 17, catcher A.J.
So now
Ellis.
that's 4 men retired with runners in scoring position for Skaggs. And here's A.J. Ellis, fly to right field in the second inning to Justin Upton. We have a 1-1 tie in the fourth, each side with a home run, each side with 4 hits. One big difference, Skaggs has 1 strikeout. Josh Beckett has 6. Little inside, ball 1. A.J. hitting .280. 11 home runs, 41 runs batted in. On deck, Josh Beckett. That's in there at the knees on the corner. Tyler Skaggs, his 3rd major league start. He came in 1 win, 1 loss. Ground ball wide of third. Nice stop there by Wheeler. And they get the force play. So the kid from Santa Monica has the ground ball go to the boy from Torrance. And the Dodgers come up empty. And we're still 1-1.
October 2nd, 2004.
Steve Finley's walk-off grand slam caps a 7-run ninth inning and clinches the division title for the Dodgers.
High drive, deep right center field, and it is gone. And the Dodgers are champions of the National League West. Can you believe that finish?
A lot of noise that day in Dodger Stadium and a lot of noise tonight. A gentleman proposing to a young girl. She accepts. Shannon accepted the ring from Dustin, and we go to the 5th inning, and all is well. John McDonald, the veteran who's playing shortstop tonight, will lead it off. Then Tyler Skaggs and Gerardo Parra. John McDonald was originally signed by the Indians out of New London, Connecticut. He went to school at Providence College. And I guarantee you he's happy not to be with Cleveland. You know what the Indians did this month, the month of August? They had the worst month, I think, in, 80, 90 years. They won 5 games and lost 24. High foul. Ellis comes back. No play. A lot of action in the stands. Boy, what a month, huh? 5-24 for Cleveland. So the Indians have to be happy going into September. They've lost 6 in a row and 9 of the last 10. John promptly hits it into center for a base hit. Kemp has to go over to get it. So a leadoff single by John McDonald. And the batter now will be Tyler Skaggs. And let's get you thinking for a little bit.
Tyler Skaggs.
Come up with a trivia question. The first ever triple header, believe it or not, was played on this date 122 years ago. Just imagine how many triple headers have there been in Major League Baseball history. Boy, how I can remember under starry skies in Vero Beach, Florida, listening to Roy Campanella tell about the old Negro Leagues. That's fouled at the plate. They would play 3 games in one day, but not in the same ballpark. They might play 3 games in 3 different ballparks in one day. Now that's a triple header. 0-1 to Tyler Skaggs. Trying to bunt his man over. No, swinging. 0-2. Tyler hit into a force play. Hit a ground ball to Hanley Ramirez, and they got a force to end the 2nd inning, so 0 for 1. Want another footnote on that month of August for Cleveland? Fouled away, so he's done. 1 away. Cleveland's 24 losses were the most in a month for the Indians since July of 1914. And their record of 5-24 ties the 1982 Mets and the 1961 Senators for the worst record in a month since the wartime in 1944. In fact, we're going to tell you a story about an odd moment in a game in 1944 in a little while. 7 strikeouts for Josh Beckett. McDonald over at first base. Does not have a stolen base. Parra has hit back to the box. He hit a bullet that almost took the belt right off Beckett's belt. Then Josh got him on a ground ball to Adrian Gonzalez in the third inning. 0-1. Josh Beckett with 7 strikeouts. 1 out in the 5th inning and a 1-1 tie. Gerardo Parra, pretty talented outfielder, a Gold Glover, and a good hitter. Over the last 9 games, he's hitting right around .350. Parra, when hitting high in the lineup, and he's hitting leadoff tonight, he's hit .314. McDonald drawing a couple of throws. Adrian Gonzalez trying to fool him, acting as if the ball got away. Of course, Eric Young, the first base coach, would let out a holler. Here's the throw. McDonald is going to make it. Now Gonzalez will jump over and as if to go chase the ball, but look at Young. You can see him making sure McDonald knows it's in play right at the bag. We haven't seen a hidden ball trick in a long time. So McDonald and Young whispering a little bit. One run, 5 hits for the Diamondbacks. 1 run, 4 hits for the Dodgers. 1 out, 5th inning. Two and 1 to Gerardo Parra. Parra, among other things, won his Gold Glove last year. If he's not in there, Jason Kubel, who won last night's game, hitting his 27th home run in the 11th inning. Kubel sitting this one out, at least at the start. 2 and 1. Fouled at the plate, 2 and 2. Beckett will lead off for the Dodgers in the bottom of the 5th, but he has to get by Parra and Hill. Boy, they do a lot of whispering through the webbing of the gloves these days, huh? Make sure no camera can possibly lip read. 2 and 2. Dodgers scored in the 2nd. D-backs scored in the 3rd. That's going to go foul. Hanley Ramirez buried one in dead center field, only to have Justin Upton clear the back wall in the Dodger bullpen, in the visitors bullpen. Two and 2. Another foul ball. After Parra, you have Aaron Hill and then Justin Upton. 1 run, 5 hits for the D-backs, 1 run, 4 hits for the Dodgers. Hill, who normally gives Beckett a bad time, is 1 for 2 tonight against him. Good breaking ball. Took a lot off it, and Parra was way out in front. That's 8 strikeouts for Josh Beckett. 8. Up there and down there. So Aaron Hill, who struck out in single, coming up. That means the only D-back in the lineup who has not struck out is the veteran John McDonald, who has walked in single. Otherwise, Beckett's gotten everybody else. Hill batting .298. 20 home runs. Strike. For the last 15 games, Aaron Hill has been unconscious, hitting better than .350. One ball and one strike. McDonald, short lead at first. Hill fouls that away. 1-2 the count to Aaron. A reminder, Wade Miley tomorrow and Chris Capuano. Arizona will move out and the San Diego Padres will move in. Padres have been playing very well recently, in case you haven't noticed. They had an 8-game winning streak and they've won 9 of their last 10. And they'll be coming in here under a full head of steam. Just off the plate. Fastball with good late movement. Two and two to Aaron Hill. Hill and Beckett battling it out here in a 1-1 tie. Aaron from up the road in Visalia went to school at LSU and was drafted by the Blue Jays. Among other things, he had a 19-game hitting streak at home. Little ground ball up the middle. Ramirez a quick feed to Ellis, and that's that. So no runs, one hit, a man left, and at the end of 4.5 innings, a 1-1 tie. Tie, beautiful evening, 81 degrees when the game started. Cooled down a hair from then. And the battle between Josh Beckett and young left-hander Tyler Skaggs. And a reminder, Thursday, September 13th, fans with the first 30,000 tickets will receive their very own Dodger fleece blanket Compliments of Carl's Jr. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/promotion. Josh Beckett, followed by Mark Ellis and then Shane Victorino. Beckett coming off an 18-pitch fifth inning, though he has made 83 pitches. One reason he has struck out 8, and that always takes a little extra pitching. Strike. For Skaggs, he has struck out 1. That was Beckett. 1 ball and 1 strike. Tyler doing well. Allowed just 4 hits. The home run by Ramirez and 3 singles. In there. 1 and 2. Singles to Ethier, Cruz, and Kemp. And that will do it. So Beckett goes down on a 90-mile-an-hour fastball. And we have 1 out in the 5th inning. Well, Skaggs has 2 strikeouts, Beckett each time. And Beckett has 8. Mark Ellis has popped up to second base, popped up to short, 0 for 2. And ball 1. You just realize, you look at Tyler Skaggs, you realize he was a senior in high school 3 years ago. That would make him 18. And here he is doing a great job in the major leagues. Certainly didn't take him long to get here. Made a lot of stops in a short amount of time. 1 ball and 2 strikes. $90-mile-an-hour fastball, 2-2 to count. Breaking ball fouled away. So still 2-2. Quite a battle going on as far as foul balls. Skaggs and Beckett. Skaggs now has had 18 foul balls, 12 2-strike fouls. So all a bunch of extra pitches. Breaking ball got him looking. And Mark Ellis turns and walks away. So that's the 3rd strikeout. Big rainbow curve with a pot of gold at the end of it as far as Skaggs is concerned. And with 2 out, Shane Victorino. Beckett has had 20 foul balls with 11 2-strike fouls. So they all add up. That's an inside number, and it has a lot to do with a pitcher's success or lack thereof. Victorino flied to center, grounded to short, 0 for 2. 1-1 tie. Hanley Ramirez homered in the 2nd. Justin Upton homered in the 3rd, and that's it. That's a strike. Looked like a straight change. 1 ball, 1 strike. Shane hitting .256. Slow curveball, but he missed. So he gave him a change off the fastball, then that rainbow pitch. 2-1 to count. Comes back now with an 89-mile-an-hour fastball. So after looking at the straight change and then the really slow curves, that fastball had to look even more than 89. 2-2. 3-2, overthrowing a 91-mile-an-hour fastball. So 2 out. Victorino trying to get aboard any way he can. Adrian Gonzalez waiting on deck. 3-2. Breaking ball. Whacked into left field. Got it up. Victorino on top of it, and that'll bring up Adrian Gonzalez. So now we will see what the Dodgers do with Victorino.
Number 23.
Victorino has stolen 31 out of 37. So you're figuring if you're Don Mattingly, 2 ways to go. You want to keep Goldschmidt on the bag, keep the right side of the infield wide open, or would you run him? For Adrian Gonzalez, he has struck out 5 times in about 33 plate appearances. Breaking ball strike. 0-1. Wade Miley, Chris Capuano tomorrow. Gonzalez batting average has dipped below 200, which is a shock to everybody, not to mention what it's done to his nervous system. Batting 194. And a high fly ball, but playable. It'll be Young out there to make the catch. And 5 innings in the books in a 1-1 tie. Before the country was at war and the Giants were playing the Dodgers, and a strange thing happened for the Giants. Joe Medwick, who had been a Dodger, came up to hit, and he was hit on the elbow. They had to take him out of the game. And then they said to DeRocher, if we get him well, can we bring him back into the game? And the Brooklyn manager, Leo DeRocher, said, I'll tell you what, if you let me put in the pinch runner for him right now. He put in the oldest catcher, old Gus Mancuso, and Medwick later on came back in the game. Let's go back to this one. Justin Upton hit that bomb for a home run to the back wall of the Dodger bullpen, which brought back memories of Matt Holliday. Almost an anniversary. 6 years ago on the 3rd of September, Holliday hit the monster. If we have a chance, we'll show it to you. That's a strike, 1-1. Holliday's home run, they said, went 481 feet. Upton's, the last they counted, about 432, and then some. 1-1. Strike. 1-2. We have a 1-1 tie here, and we're in the 6th. Slider 2-2. One run, 5 hits for each side. Each run a home run. Breaking ball, fly ball. He hit it up the end of the bat. Victorino is there. All right, we have a moment. We're going to show you the 2 home runs. First of all, the Holiday home run was on a daytime game. He got a breaking ball up, and it cleared the back wall and goes amongst the 3 sisters, the palm trees, 481 feet away. And then Upton's home run, that cleared the back wall, and that went out at about 432 to 440. So Justin this time hit it right off the end of the bat and a little fly ball. 0-1 to Goldschmidt, who has 18 home runs and a strike. Goldschmidt has struck out and grounded out. Struck out once in the first game, struck out 3 times yesterday, and once so far tonight. Fastball 1-2. Josh Beckett making his debut, and it's a good one. He's impressive. And down goes Goldschmidt again. Last year with the Diamondbacks, Goldschmidt did very well. And he right now is struggling a bit as he strikes out again. 2 times tonight, so that's 6 strikeouts for the big guy in 3 games. And here's Montero. 9 strikeouts for Josh Beckett. Miguel Montero, single, struck out. The only D-back who has not struck out is John McDonald. Nice pick by Mark Ellis. So that didn't take long. D-backs go quickly, and at the end it's 5.5, a 1-1 tie. And I figured the combination of Charles Nagy and Kirk Gibson, they've decided 91 pitches is enough. He pitched very well, allowing a home run to Hanley Ramirez. Trevor Cahill over to have some fun with him. So the youngest pitcher in the major leagues, did himself proud, the local boy from Santa Monica. And now he gives the ball to Matt Albers out of Houston, Texas. Matt lives at Sugar Land in Texas, an even 6, 205-pounder, 29 years old, went to school at San Jacinto Junior College, and was originally signed by the Astros. He's been with the Astros and the Orioles, the Red Sox, and now the D-backs, and he'll face Matt Kemp. So 91 pitches for Tyler Skaggs, and he's out of there. Oh, 0-1 to Matt. He is lined out to left and single to left. Josh Beckett has worked 6 innings and has made 93 pitches. Oh, 0-2. One run, 5 hits, no errors for each side. Each run accounted for by a home run. Hanley Ramirez for the Dodgers, Justin Upton for Arizona. 0-2. Albers basically fastball, slider, curve, and change. Slider away. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Matt hitting .333. One and 2. So Matt Kemp strikes out, 1 away in the 6th inning. Strikeout number 1.
Shortstop.
After Skaggs struck out 3. Josh Beckett, by the way, has struck out 9. Beckett had 9 strikeouts earlier this year when he was pitching for Boston against Seattle, and his high in strikeouts in his career, 13. Talking to Nick Punto. So here's Ramirez, hit a home run and walked, and a strike. Yeah, you figured Giancarlo Stanton would certainly be right up there after the 3-game series he had here with a home run in each game. 0-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Albers has only pitched in 11 innings prior to tonight. Matt was doing well in the American League. He was 2-0 with a very good ERA of 2. One and 1. In fact, in looking at Matt Albers, you realize he was a teammate of Josh Beckett for the last 2.5 years. Now the fates have it, they're against each other. They were teammates this year with Boston. Cracked bat, broken bat, foul ball. And the big chunk of that bat is on the grass at shortstop. Most people who have the knowledge, they say the wood that is used in this day and age is not aged enough. It's not dry enough. And we're seeing so many broken bats over the last few years. The other reason, I think, too, is the design of the modern day bat. The handles are very thin. Look at that skinny handle on that bat. All the weight is up at the top of the bat. There they are. The tools of the trade. 2-2. Got him. At the knees, Down goes Hanley. So Albers comes in, strikes out Kemp, strikes out Ramirez, and now we'll work on Ethier.
Right fielder, Andre.
So 5 Dodgers have struck out. Andre Ethier has singled and flied to left, 1 for 2. Chris Young will start off the 7th inning for the D-backs. Young has doubled and struck out. It's amazing how quickly things change. They go to spring training. They've already been teammates a year ago, Albers and Beckett, and it seems almost like a blink in the eye. Albers wearing a Diamondback uniform and Josh a Dodger. 2-0. For Albers, this is his 13th game. Ethier hitting .290. Two balls and no strikes. Two and one. Albers has a pretty rhythmical delivery. He almost bounces on his feet before he releases the ball. So even 6, 205 pounds, and pitching from a stretch all the time. Change. 3-1. Albers with the Astros in 06 and 07. Spent a couple of years with the Orioles. Then the Red Sox. And now the D-backs. 3-1. .93-mile-an-hour fastball. 3-2. And a drive to right down the line, watching it carefully as it goes foul. First base umpire, the crew chief, Eric Cooper. Still 3-2. Andre, who has hurt the D-backs a lot, especially in Phoenix. And a high fly ball to left center and deep. Young on the track at the wall. It is gone, and the Dodgers lead 2-1. Andre Ethier goes the other way, just drives it into the pavilion in left center. You knew it had a chance as soon he made contact. For Andre, 15 home runs, 77 runs batted in. So the runs come tough tonight on home runs. Hanley Ramirez and Andre Ethier and Justin Upton. Here's Cruz, singled and flied to center. Fastball strike. For Matt Albers, that would be the 3rd home run that he's allowed as Ethier takes him out. Albers due to bat 4th when the D-backs hit in the 7th. And down goes Cruz. So Albers winds up striking out the side, but he also gives up a tie-breaking home run. And at the end at 6, Dodgers lead 2-1. Dodgers, 7th inning. Josh Beckett has struck out 9 tonight. His career high, he struck out 13 Tampa Bay Devil Rays in Tampa, but with the 13 strikeouts, he lost the game 3-0. He was giving up a home run to Evan Longoria and a double by Carl Crawford. One other note, his 13 strikeouts that day came in just 7 innings and included 3 strikeouts of Justin Upton's brother, B.J. Upton. Well, he has gotten Justin once tonight, and Upton has gotten him once. Chris Young has doubled and struck out 0 for 1. So Beckett made a debut in Colorado, but a very impressive performance here tonight. And that's whacked down the left field line, hooking and goes foul. Foul ball. That thing was hit very hard and fouled by less than a foot. His home run that beat the Dodgers 2-0 in the first game was a line drive that got just inside that left field foul pole. 0-2 to Chris Young. Slider away, 1-2. Beckett has struck out everyone in the lineup with the exception of John McDonald. He has gotten Goldschmidt twice. 1-2. Ground ball. Ellis goes back to get it. One away. So that'll bring up Ryan Wheeler.
Number 21, third baseman.
Wheeler came up in the second inning with runners at second and third and 1 out, and hit a line drive that was backhanded by Hanley Ramirez. Otherwise, the D-backs have more than 1 run. Last time up, Wheeler struck out. Young fella from Torrance. Basically a first baseman. They're playing him at third, and he is trying to improve playing third base. He had a reputation of being a little shaky at that position. Good slow breaking ball. 1 ball and 1 strike. In the Dodger bullpen, Randy Choate begins to loosen up. That's another off-speed pitch for a strike. 1-2. Beckett has now made 100 pitches. Right on the money. 1-2 to Wheeler. And slapped into left field for a base hit. So Wheeler is 1 for 3. And the batter will be John McDonald, the 1 D-back who has not struck
Number
out.
16, shortstop.
Well, they're
John
getting
McDonald.
close to Alber's spot. So Matt Lindstrom, a right-hander, begins to warm up in the Arizona bullpen. And here's McDonald, walked and singled. Jason Kubel, and sooner or later you expected to see him. Kubel, the left-hand batter, is out on deck. So Wheeler at first, 1 out, 2-1 Dodgers, 7th inning. Wheeler is 1 for 1 in stolen bases. And popped up, foul off to the left. AJ has a play. So McDonald fouls out. Wheeler holding at first, and Jason Kubel, the hero from last night, coming up. Kubel last night had hit into a double play, flied to right, popped up and walked, and then in the 11th inning, won the ball game. Jason Kubel with 27 home runs, 81 runs batted in. Kubel getting that home run to win the game has really been struggling. He was 1 for 21, and now let's see if they're going to bring in Randy Choate. Kubel 1 for 21, then he was 22, 23, 24. He was 1 for 24 when he hit that home run. So Beckett, who went a brilliant 6 2/3, he's made a little more than 100 pitches, 102 to be exact, and we'll be right back. This effort, 102 pitches, struck out 9, allowed 1 run, a home run, and 6 hits. So now he becomes a spectator, and Randy Choate, the only left-hander in the bullpen with Scott Elbert sidelined, and Randy is asked to get Kubel. Backing up Choate in the Dodger bullpen, Ronald Belisario. Two out, and ball 1. Last night, Kubel homered against Guerrier. Matt had not pitched since the 18th of April. And after the home run, struck out the side, but it was too late. 1 ball and no strikes. 2-1 Dodgers, 7th inning. Wheeler at first. 1-1 the count to Jason Kubel. Randy Choate, born in San Antonio, originally signed by the Yankees out of Florida State University. He'll be 37 in September on the 5th. 6'1", about 195. One and two. Drops the arm angle. Bit side arm and a good sink on that. 1-2 the count. So Beckett with a lot on the line, listening to Mickey Hatcher. Of course, bless him, you listen to Mickey Hatcher. Big slider. 2-2 the count. And ground ball off the glove of Ellis. Plenty of time to take care of Kubel. No runs, 1 hit, a man left. Choate does his job. Josh Beckett still in line for a victory. Nice play by Ellis. Knocks it down and still has time. And the Dodgers hold on to a 2-1 lead. A mile, a home run by Justin Upton in the 3rd inning. He's hit 3 in the last 8 games. Andre Ethier homered, Hanley Ramirez homered, and Josh Beckett with a 9-strikeout home debut goes out leading 2-1 with a shot to win. However, a lot of baseball left, and we go to the bottom of the 7th. It'll be Matt Lindstrom out of Rexburg, Idaho, and lives in Colorado. Right-hander picking up the 3rd Arizona pitcher. Matt Lindstrom was originally signed by the Mets about 10 years ago. Finally came up with the Marlins, then the Astros, the Rockies, the Orioles, and now with Arizona. 1 ball and 1 strike. Matt, born in Idaho, went on a 2-year Mormon mission and then came home and picked for a junior college in Idaho. 1 hopper, Wheeler, a nice stab, throws him out. Nice play, Ryan Wheeler. And A.J. Ellis goes down, 1 away. Randy Choate made 5 pitches to take care of the pinch hitter Kubel. Now Adam Kennedy will bat for him. Down in the Dodger bullpen, Jamie Wright warming up. Adam Kennedy might be hitting .265 overall, but he's been a wonderful pinch hitter. 8 for 26. And a strike. 1 out, 7th inning, 2-1 Dodgers. Diamondbacks are not accustomed to winning 1-run games. They did last night, 4-3. Their record in 1-run decisions, 11 wins and 20 losses. But they did bag one last night. So Adam Kennedy on a 1-1 count. Mark Ellis on deck. That's a high strike up around the letters, 1 and 2. So Lindstrom gave up 2 years of his life on a Mormon mission. It was to Sweden. His family is from Sweden. 1 and 2. And he gets Kennedy. When they asked Lindstrom, tell us about the mission, he said, well, to boil it down simply, we help people in need. We help the elderly. They talk to people in the streets. He speaks fluent Swedish. Matt lived there for a couple of years. Two out, and here is Mark Ellis. Popped up twice, struck out 0 for 3. Ball 1. Seven Dodgers have struck out. 9 D-backs. That's in there. 1 and 1. Lindstrom. Good fastball plus slider, which we just saw on that pitch, and a changeup, and another slider. 1 and 2. Lindstrom's fastball has actually been clocked at 100. That was 97. One ball and 2 strikes. And fastball away. They'll make the out at first. So 2 more strikeouts in the inning. 8 Dodgers and 9 D-backs. 17 strikeouts. Dodgers lead 2-1. You can boil down the difference in the game. One swing by Ethier and a home run into the left center field area of the pavilion. That made it 2-1 Dodgers. All 3 runs tonight on home runs. Hanley Ramirez in the 2nd inning, Justin Upton in the 3rd, and then Andres Polk in the 6th. Upton will be coming up again as we go to the 8th inning, and the Dodgers bring in Jamie Wright. So it'll be Parra, Hill, and Upton. Matt Lindstrom made 12 pitches in facing the Dodgers in the 7th inning. Jamie in his 50th game. Not quite 2-1 strikeouts to walks. Somewhat high earned run average of 4. And we'll see how he fares now against Gerardo Parra. 2 ground balls and struck out. Parra hitting .276, 6 home runs, 32 runs batted in. Starts him breaking ball for a strike. 0-1. Gerardo Parra 0 for 3 in the past against Jamie Wright. 0-1. Good fastball. 91 and a no ball 2 strike count. Jamie Wright stands 6'5". He'll be 38 Christmas Eve. Ball 1. Two runs, 6 hits for the Dodgers. 1 run, 6 hits for the D-backs. And we're in the 8th inning. Sitting in the stands looking down at Parra, he doesn't look to be that big, but he is listed at 6 feet. Does a good job. Gold Glove last year. Runs very well. Covers a lot of ground. And he has 13 stolen bases. Two and two. The one flaw, I guess, there would be with Parra is the fact that as an aggressive base stealer, he's been picked off a lot. He's also stolen third base 4 times. 2 and 2. Parra, to be exact, has been picked off 8 times, but he does have 4 steals of third. Parra signed by the D-backs 8 years ago. 2 and 2. Fouled away again. Jamie Wright asked to get the top of the lineup. Parra, Hill, and Upton. 2 and 2. Fouled off his foot. Parra, of course, starting tonight. They've used Kubel as a pinch hitter, so they need him to stay in left field. Two balls, 2 strikes. just off the corner with that 93-mile-an-hour fastball. That's a pretty tough pitch to take with 2 strikes. Three and 2. Fouled away. Should Parra get aboard, we told you he has 13 stolen bases. He has had about at least 350 plate appearances, and he has struck out 63 times. So where there are 5, now 6 men on the D-back squad with over 100 strikeouts, he's the contact hitter in the starting lineup. Wright has him 3 and 2. Cracked bat, ground ball, he's done. And a good chunk of that bat rolled out towards second base. So 1 away as Parra breaks his bat and grounds out. Let's get back to the trivia question. Do you remember? We were talking about the first ever triple header played on this date 122 years ago. How many triple headers do you think? 3. Brooklyn against Pittsburgh on this day in 1890. Baltimore versus Louisville, 1896. But then the so-called modern days after 1900, 1920, Pittsburgh and Cincinnati. October the 2nd, so the season, that might have been a rainout made up. 1 away, and here's Aaron Hill. Struck out, singled, hit into a force play. 1 for 3. Aaron Hill 2 for 9 against Jamie Wright. Ball 1. On deck, Justin Upton. Upton has struck out, homered, and fly deep to left. And ball 2. When Arizona won 4-3 last night, it was the 11th one-run game they've won this year. They've lost 20, but a great streak has come to an end today. The Baltimore Orioles lost a one-run game, 4-3 to the Yankees. They had won 13 straight one-run decisions. Ground ball, Cruz. Nice stretch by Adrian Gonzalez. 2 down. And the batter will be Justin Upton.
Number 10.
Cruz gets rid of the ball in a hurry and kind of threw a dead fish over there. And Adrian just did keep the toes on the bag. Soft throw by Cruz, good stretch by Adrian, and we have 2 out in the 8th inning. Now here's Upton. Just to conclude the thought, even with the loss today, the Orioles are 24-7 in one-run games. Baltimore losing that tough game, so they're 3 games behind the Yankees. 0-1 to count to Upton. Justin, 12 home runs, 54 runs batted in. 0-2. 13 times in their young careers, the brothers Justin and BJ hit a home run on the same day. And they marked each with their 100th home run. Sure enough, they hit it on the same day. 0-2. One and 2 to Justin Upton. Upton, with all of his playing experience, is only 25. I mean, he'd really just starting out. Last year, he had 31 home runs. 1-2. 2-2. Certainly one of the reasons, one of many, why the D-backs slugging this year compared to last is Upton. From 31 home runs, he now has 12. From a .529 slugging percentage, he's down to .400. From 39 doubles to 19. And in go-ahead or game-winning RBIs, he's dropped from 46 to 25. But you don't win with one man, you don't lose with one man. 3-2 to Justin Upton. Comebacker. So a nice inning for Jamie Wright. 3 ground balls. And we're heading to the bottom of the 8th inning. Dodgers 2, D-backs 1. Runs by Hanley Ramirez and Ethier. So despite the fact they're leading, the hitting drought continues. Dodgers struggling to put any runs on the board. I guess you could spend every game saying yes, the pitching has been great for the opposition. Maybe so. It's Tyler Skaggs and Matt Albers and Matt Lindstrom holding them to just the 2 runs and the 6 hits. Now Brian Shaw comes in. Shaw 1-4, appeared briefly in the 6th inning last night. Did not pitch in game 1. So Brian getting ready, and it'll be Shane Victorino to start it off. Last night, J.J. Putz finished up, but he made 26 pitches. So we'll see about J.J. able to come back if necessary. Ball 1 to Victorino. Brian Shaw lives in Livermore. Went to school down here at Long Beach State. Drafted in the 2nd round 4 years ago by the D-backs. Livermore, the hometown of Randy Johnson. 2-0. Basically with Shaw, he'll get a fastball that's been clocked as high as 96. That was 93. Fastball, slider, curve, and a change. Basically keeps that ball down. With that thought in mind, take a look at Shaw. He has given up 4 home runs in 47 innings. 3-0 to Shane. And he's aboard. So Victorino, who singled in the 5th inning, now gets on with the walk. And here's Adrian Gonzalez, 0 for 3. The paid attendance tonight coming alive, 35,992. 35,992. Down a little bit from last night. Last night we had 37,600. Plus dogs. And ball 1. Adrian's average, a shocking 188 as he tries to get accustomed to National League pitching again. 1 home run, remember his very first Dodger at bat. There goes Victorino. The pitch is low, and it's going to wind up off the glove of McDonald, and Victorino winds up at third. Bad throw, and at the bag, McDonald could just dive and slow it down as it went off his glove. So it's a stolen base for Victorino, and it's an error charge to Montero. And the Dodgers now have a gift, a runner at third, nobody out. Gonzalez, Kemp, and Ramirez. The infield has to play up. Victorino, his 32nd stolen base. Fouled away. 2-1. Giants won today. Dodgers must win or fall 5.5 back. 2-1 the count to Adrian. In the dirt to the backstop, and it comes right back to Montero. So Victorino had nowhere to go but back to third. For Shaw, with a runner at third, should be noted he has 4 wild pitches and almost a 5th. So Victorino at third, nobody out, 3-1 the count to Adrian Gonzalez. Three and 2. Gonzalez coming into the game as a Dodger, and that's only 8 games. 3 walks, 5 strikeouts, 0 for 3 tonight with 2 fly balls to center. And a pop fly, but with the infield drawn, here comes Parra to make the catch. Boy, he is something. Great play by Parra, because McDonald with the infield up, no way he could go back and get that one. So you can see why Parra has a Gold Glove.
Number 27, center fielder.
So 1 away. Victorino still at third base. And the batter, Matt Kemp. Matt Kemp lined out to left, single to left, and struck out. Brian Shaw, when he comes in inheriting runners, and it's a good insight into a pitcher, he inherited 25 runners and only 4 have scored. But of course Victorino at third belongs to him. Matt hitting .332. The infield is still up. Ball 1. So a walk, then Victorino steals second. Montero makes a bad throw, sending Victorino to third. Gonzalez can't pick him up. Now it's up to Matt Kemp. 1-1. Take another look about Shaw. 18 walks, 39 strikeouts, so a little better than 2-1. Fastball, slider, curve, and change. Time called at the plate. Matt Kemp so far this year has 3 sacrifice flies. 1-1. Pretty good fastball. Wow, at 96. 96 and down. Dodgers lead 2-1. Got a big break here in the 8th. Trying to take an extra run into the 9th inning. Fouled away. And Shaw now really cut loose. That was 97. And most of those fastballs with good sink. Came up to the D-backs last year. One and two to Matt. And a high fly ball, but Upton has a great arm. This will be interesting. Victorino runs well, and he is coming. The throw, Montero takes a hit and holds on to the ball. Wonderful play by Miguel Montero. Great throw by Justin Upton, and Victorino with all of his speed snuffed out at the plate. Marvelous baseball action. Great arm against great legs, and a great block by the catcher Montero, who somehow held on to the ball. Montero weighs 195 pounds, and a perfect throw. Montero takes a real lick high up around the head, and Miguel, to his credit, somehow held on to the ball. Great throw by Justin Upton, right on the money. But boy, what a hit. Woo. Another look. Monty trying to turn his left shoulder into Victorino. Meanwhile, line drive, Victorino has to play it on a bounce. So Goldschmidt comes up with a single against League, and the tying run is aboard as the Dodgers, with a runner at third, nobody out in the 8th inning, And Gonzalez and Kemp unable to pick it up. And now Miguel Montero. Boy, you talk about the life of a catcher. He knew he was going to get hit. Turned the shoulder in. Victorino hit him high up on the shoulder and head. And then before he has a chance to count his teeth, he's walking up to the plate. Look at this. See him turn the shoulder. Wham. His left shoulder, Victorino's, hit Montero right on the chin. And somehow he held on. All right, the tying run is aboard. Montero, Young, and Wheeler. And Brandon League on the mound, the fourth Dodger pitcher. Ball one. 2 runs, 6 hits for the Dodgers, 1 run, 7 hits for the D-backs. Yeah, I don't blame you for going after that wallop. Now back. Just thinking, if this were a giant Dodger game and that was Buster Posey as the catcher, Victorino scores because Posey is under orders not to block the plate. But for Miguel, a day's work. 1-1. Think back over the years, some of the collisions at home plate involving Mike Scioscia and also Steve Yeager that make you shudder. And of course, Victorino's 180. There are a lot bigger guys who can come in and try to level the catcher. 1-2. Miguel hitting .280, 1 for 3. He had 3 hits last night, and he also had a double in the first game. One ball and 2 strikes. We're in the ninth. 2-1 Dodgers. D-backs had the tying run at first. Still fouled off. Boy, it is so true. It's not a young man's game. It's not an old man's game. It is a strong man's game. One and 2. Sinker. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Goldschmidt at first base is a very good base runner, a very successful base runner. He's a big man, good 6'3", 6'4", but he has stolen 13 out of 15. Two and 2 to Montero. Sinker misses, and he goes 3 and 2. Now let's see. You have a good base runner representing the tying run. Montero has grounded into 13 double plays. That's second on the squad. And he's also struck out 103 times. So we'll see what Kirk Gibson does. He has Chris Young on deck. First, we'll watch Goldschmidt. He doesn't go. And that's why. So you can have all the speed in the world, but if you have hitters who strike out over 100 times, you're hamstrung. Tomorrow, the battle of left-handers. Wade Miley, another young Arizona pitcher with a 14-win record against Chris Capuano, 11-10. Miley with very impressive numbers, ERA of 2.8. So Miley and Capuano, and that'll finish up this 4-game series. So 1 out. and the batter will be Young. Chris Young doubled, struck out, grounded out. And a strike. Chris hitting .224, 14 home runs, 38 runs batted in. Brandon League is in his 14th game as a Dodger. Oh, and 1. Did he? Yes, he did. So Young unable to hold up. No balls and 2 strikes. Three home runs in the game. Ramirez and Ethier for the Dodgers. Upton for the D-backs. Nice save by Ellis. That could have been a wild pitch for sure. Brandon League had 3 wild pitches in the American League and 1 wild pitch since coming to the Dodgers. The old story, live by the sword. Well, he's got that dandy sinker. There it is. So he strikes out Montero and Young. The D-backs, with so many guys who have struck out over 100. So 11 Diamondbacks have struck out. And with 2 down, Ryan Wheeler. Ryan Wheeler, the young fella from Torrance, lined out. That was a key out. He came up with 2nd and 3rd in the 2nd inning and hit a line drive that was backhanded by Hanley Ramirez to provide the D-backs for a run, and they sure wish they had it now. Fouled away. Wheeler since then struck out and singled. On deck, John McDonald. Oh, and 1. That's off the plate. Brandon League, 29 years old, born in Sacramento, lives in Honolulu. One and 1 to Ryan Wheeler. And a ground ball up the middle. There's Hanley Ramirez on the bag, and the Dodgers hang on to win it 2-1. For the Dodgers, 2 runs, 6 hits, and no errors. The D-backs 1 run, 7 hits, 1 error. The Dodgers remain 4.5 back. Arizona loses for the 21st time a 1-run game, and they fall back to 9.5. Giants beat the Cubs today 5-2. The left-handers will be going after each other tomorrow. Wade Miley and Chris Capuano, as the Dodgers try to hang tough, having lost 2 out of 3, but finally snapping the Diamondback winning streak. The D-backs had beaten the Dodgers 8 straight. They had beaten them 10 out of 12. They had won 6 straight on the road, and they had a little 2-game winning streak in the series. For the Dodgers, by winning tonight, they snap a little 2-game losing streak and finally get a little bit well at home. Since the 28th of May, the Dodgers have lost 26 games at home, and by scratching 1 out tonight, they've won 15 while losing the 26. So the Dodgers have to try and pick up 1 again tomorrow and then concentrate on San Diego, because after that they'll go up and go head-to-head with the Giants, go on the road as well to Arizona, come home for 4 big games with the St. Louis Cardinals, who are in second place but battling for the wild card. The wild card race features Atlanta, St. Louis, Pittsburgh, and the Dodgers, but the Dodgers are in a bad way to go, not only trying to catch the Giants, but they're also 4.5 games back in the wild card, so they have a lot of work to do, and they'll start again tomorrow. Dodgers win it 2-1. We'll wish you all a very pleasant good evening, everybody.
All right, Vin, thank you very much. I have Josh Beckett with me down here in front of the Dodger dugout. 9 strikeouts, 6 2/3. Got a win here. Great way to introduce yourself to this Dodger home crowd.
Yeah, it's awesome to be here. The guys played great defense. The 2 big home runs. Hanley crushed that ball, and then Ethier just missed hitting one down the right field line, and then hits one the other way.
Josh, I covered you in 03, again in 07. You're a different pitcher now. How have you evolved?
Well, I don't have the stuff that I used to have. I have to locate a little bit better, and AJ did a good job today sticking with the game plan that he put together. I don't know these guys very well, so my hat's off to him.
I see you iced from shoulder to fingers. Does it hurt that bad?
No, it's a precautionary deal.
You look at the offense and you look at them on paper. Do you feel like they're so close to breaking out?
Absolutely. We're putting we're putting at bats together, and that's what we got to do. We got that guy out, Skaggs out of there in five innings. In 5 innings. We got Skaggs out there in 5 innings, and that's what you're trying to do. You got to get the starters out. That's their guys, and I felt like we did a pretty good job, and now I'm wet.
How good does it feel to be back on a team that's in contention and has a chance to get into the playoffs?
It's awesome. Yeah, I mean, just coming here. This place is great.
Josh, thank you very much. Appreciate you coming out the way you look right now.
I appreciate it.
Good luck, man. All right, we're going to go to break. We're going to come back to Dodgers Live with Kenny Lofton and Jim Watson in center field.